class is difficulties or impossibilities. Class is difficulties or impossibilities. A pleasant good evening to everyone. You're welcome to this evening's class of Steele. It's Friday evening. My goodness, the week has already come to an end. I want to bring apologies this evening for our Chief of Protocol, His Excellency Dr. Ewers, has engagement to attend that cannot be avoided. And so he sends his apologies from being in class this evening. I want to acknowledge the presence of Her Excellency Zanis Amaka Curry. You're very welcome this evening into the class. Engineer Stephen Abu, Her Excellency Margaret Ahmed from Homemakers Women's Development Initiative. You're very welcome to this evening's class. And today, incidentally, is the birthday of our COO in the person of Her Excellency Doreen Burunji, who is temporarily on leave as a result of dealing with matters in Uganda currently. So she also, we wish her a wonderful birthday. And I know that she watches all of these broadcasts by YouTube or on our Facebook page. So we want to send and extend greetings to Her Excellency Doreen Burunji in Uganda. And also yesterday was Bella, our daughter Bella, that is in Uganda as well. Her birthday was yesterday. So we have quite a few birthdays in July, the July babies. So with that, we want to wish all of you who are birthdaying and anniversary in July, happy birthday, happy anniversary. This evening's class is very interesting. I want to again welcome those of you who are on our Zoom and our YouTube and also our Facebook and LinkedIn platforms. You're welcome to this evening broadcast, and those who are listening in by call, you are very, very welcome this evening. The title for this evening is Difficulties versus Impossibilities. Difficulties versus impossibilities. So recently, the past couple of weeks, I have adopted a new interest, an interest in the Rubik's Cube and trying to get a Rubik's Cube fixed. So I've adopted this quite keen interest with that desire to get it done. And one of the things that I discovered is it seems almost impossible. Truth being told, to fix the cube seems at best almost impossible for me thus far. And as I go through the process, I continue to get the challenges of trying to fix one and then trying to fix two and trying to fix three, and it creates a mindset of this is impossible. This doesn't make sense. The turns you have to go through and the different things that you have to do to fix one of these Rubik's cubes is really, really phenomenal. And it's interesting. There's so many ways that you can fix a cube. It is not even something that somebody could just give you one way that's going to work. It is just really the hard work or the diligence, because one wrong turn can mess up the whole cube after you've gotten a very far distance ahead. And one wrong turn. And while I was today in the city, I had the opportunity today to take out the First Lady and Josh. They were leaving, and while I was in the city, I was sat going through the cube, trying to fix it and laughing at myself, at the difficulties. And then a great brainstorm came my way. So I shouted out publicly, can anybody fix a Rubik's Cube? And everybody looked at me and they thought, you know, this guy, like, he's crazy, you know? And everybody's out there enjoying the sun, and I just raised up the cube, help! I need assistance to fix this cube. I'm challenged and I can't get past this hurdle. And sure, about 5 minutes, a little girl, she's about 12 or 13 years old, says, I can do it, I can do it. And she ran and she came to me, and everybody, a couple of persons had their cameras on, and I says, come on, give her a hand, you know. By the way, this was random. It was very random. I was just sat on a bench having a conversation with a gentleman, and while fiddling with the cube and having this conversation. And I said to him, watch this. I'm going to get this cube fixed today. And long story being made short, the little girl, she came up and she fixed the cube. And what seemed as an impossibility or a major difficulty for me was simple for her. And I thought, that's interesting what happened today. Very interesting. And I said, let me share some life lessons with us, difficulties versus impossibilities. I've had this message prepared for a while. I've had this lecture prepared for a while, but I didn't have it structured around a Rubik's Cube. But I think a Rubik's Cube is fitting to give you the introduction of what I want to share with you this evening. First thing is, where are you at personally, yourself? Are you looking at some personal difficulties or impossibilities or challenges that are really overwhelming? Really? Are you faced with some of them? Are you in a position where you're going to be finding it difficult to accomplish some things that you want to accomplish? It's not very easy. I want to give you a thought. Sit down and work out and write out what is difficult and what's impossible. Of course, fixing a Rubik's Cube is not impossible. We all know that. It's not impossible. To me, it seems impossible. To somebody that doesn't know how to do it, it could very well be impossible for them to get it done. It could very well be. But being impossible for me doesn't make it impossible to be done. I want you to think with me. Some of the things that you are wrestling with seem impossible. But the truth of the matter is they seem impossible to you, but they're not impossible to be done or to be completed. So what did I do? I went as far as I could, and I tried my best to create an environment where I said, now I need help. I need help. At this stage, I need help. Because I know that fixing this is not impossible. You see, if this was a trick thing that is impossible to fix, it will never get fixed. I really don't need help. I just need to throw it away and get on with life. There's some things that are just throw it away and get on with your life. Just ignore this and move forward. And then there are other things that are, let me find a solution. No matter what it takes, I'm going to find a
solution. No matter what it costs, no matter what I have to do to position myself better, I'm going to find a solution. I have to find a solution. I must. And I'm not going to sit down and allow anything or anyone to stop me from finding that solution. So here's the interesting thing about today. So I'm in London, I'm in the city, and just me and a gentleman having a conversation. And I decided I want to get this impossible task completed. And as a result of that, I have to do something. What do I have to do? The first thing I have to do is look at my resources. What are my resources? So there are loads of people that were all around London City today. Loads of individuals. Hundreds of people were by the London Eye this evening. So therefore, my first question was answered. Do I have resources that could potentially fix this cube? The answer is yes. There's a potential. What are the chances of 500 or 600 people that are seated inside of a room, and one or two of those persons have the ability to fix the puzzle? What are the chances of that? What are the chances of you being in your city or your town or your region or your country with a problem, with a crisis, with a challenge on your hand, with something that is impossible for you to do, but it is not impossible to get done? Are you with me? That you're realizing I need to look at the resources that I have around me to try to fix this situation. So I saw there were loads of people. That was half of my job right there. I have resources. The second thing is, how do I get the word out that I need to have this cube fixed? How do I get it out? What must I do to get the word out that I want to have this cube fixed? What did I have to do? I had to sound the alarm. You see, a lot of people are sitting with difficulties, and when somebody asks, why didn't you do this? They give you the excuse. They give you the reason. They tell you all of the grandeurs and the difficulties and the challenges and hold your head, hold your belly, hold your side issues that cause them to be unable to complete the task. All the belly aches, all the excuses. But then you ask them, what are you doing about it? Most people just throw in the towel and they've had enough. They just throw in the towel and they say, that's it. I'm not doing anything. A lot of individuals that are religious says, I'm waiting on God. I'm waiting on when my son finishes university or college. I'm waiting on when I retire. I'm waiting on when the economy changes. I'm waiting on when I get to another house or another location. There's so many things that you are doing, and absolutely none of those things have any value pertaining to getting the cube fixed. So what happens is the cube is in a bag or on a shelf, and you're simply saying, I am waiting until. So it's shelved. Your vision, your project, your assignment, it's shelved because you're waiting until you get, or you do, or you could have, or you are. Whatever those hindrances or solutions to the problems, in your opinion, are. I decided that I'm going to shout out and call out. So guess what happens? Here you see a young man just sitting with another gentleman talking quietly, not interrupting the flow of things. People are on their phones or talking to their loved ones, their friends, they're getting snacks, they're getting food, everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody is in a vein. They're doing their own thing, whatever that is. Everybody is comfortable, everybody is okay, everybody's taking photos of the London Eye and their partners, their spouse. Everybody is engaged. Before I go to the next stage, I want to say this to you. A lot of times before you get to do what you want to do, your first answer is, nobody has time for me. Nobody has the time to help me. They're too busy. They're not interested. So what did I do? I shout out, hey! That's the first thing I did. Hey! Anybody knows how to fix a cube? I'm in trouble. I'm in Rubik's trouble. And I'm making a joke, loud, very, very loud. Because I wanted to prove a point to the young man who was talking to me about some challenges that he's having. He's fled one country and gone to another country, and he's explaining the challenges that he's faced with. And I was explaining to him, and I wanted to show him something about life that's real important and very, very relevant and critical to understand. Hey, anybody knows how to fix a Rubik's Cube? And I got persons looking at me like, who's this? That's the first thing that happens. You get people's attention. You get people's attention. You make a lot of noise. And you get people's attention. Persons start to look in my direction. And then I had persons to speak to. Hey, sir, could you fix a cube? Are you the one? Are you the one that can fix this cube and get me out of this dilemma? And put this smile on my face? No, not me, not me. Maybe that young lady, she looks like she can fix a cube. Darling, could you fix a cube? Is it you? And you get a level of activity focused on what I want to accomplish. Those that wanted to see if I'm going to get somebody to fix a cube, their eyes were perked. They were looking in our direction. All of a sudden, the focus of this little area was in my direction, few hundred people. It was humorous. It was interesting, but I wanted to prove a point. And a few persons were walking past, and then it got comical. My dear, please, is it you? You look like you could fix a cube. Come on, tell me you could fix a cube. No, not me. I can't do it. I'm not able, man. That's so hard. I says, yes, I know. That's why I'm in this trouble. Conversation. Excitement is in the ear. Hope is alive. I started to feel like I don't have to put the cube on the shelf, because the cube is now the subject of conversation relevant to it getting fixed. Is your conflict, challenge, difficulty a subject of conversation recently? Is it? Is it stimulating others to recognize that you have a difficulty? Are you troubling others or the airwave with regards to what you need to accomplish? Are you? Or are you just sitting back, have it on the shelf, and come to the conclusion, I am stuck and I can't do anything about being stuck at this moment? And then they kept asking a number of persons, and the man was embarrassed. This is the part I want to talk to you about. The man was embarrassed and smiling. He said to me, "You are so brave." I says, "What do you mean I'm brave?" He says, "Yeah, look at you, just openly asked people to help, and you just started talking. You're so brave." I said, if you want to accomplish anything in life, you have to be brave. If you want to overcome any difficulty that you're faced with, you're going to have to be brave. You don't have a choice. There is no compromise in the necessity for you to be brave. There is none. You're going to have to set yourself up for some no's. You're going to have to set yourself up to hear some no, I can't. No. You're going to have to set yourself up to be ignored by some people asking you, why don't you stop keeping noise, bro? Do you think people here care about fixing a Rubik's Cube? You're gonna have to be prepared for that. Bro, what's wrong with you? Don't you think other people have better things to do? You are going to have to be prepared to go through that. Even if it is a Rubik's Cube you want to fix, you're going to have to go through it. You're going to experience people laughing. Oh my goodness. You might even experience a police officer wanting to come and arrest you for interrupting the peace. Bro, just be quiet, man. What's wrong with you? Come on, somebody. I want you to go with me in this session this evening. Is it difficult or impossible? And have you gotten to a stage where it seems so impossible that you've shelved it because you don't want to go through any shame? You don't want to look dumb. You know what I mean? You don't want to look like, come on, man, why can't you fix a cube? That's not that difficult. Just stay home in your closet, man, and figure it out, man. You are going to have to go through some things that you would rather not go through. And if you don't go through them, you will never get the solution you're looking for. You will not. Because you see, on your own, you cannot do it. You need help. You need support. You need information that you might not currently have access to. You need a solution that you clearly don't have. So obviously it's going to come from somebody else. And then this little girl came with her family. And it was really amazing because everybody's attention was on me. And then something happened. the spotlight went on this little girl. I saw a couple of persons took out their mobile phones and they were starting to video this little girl that was trying to get this cube fixed. People have tried for months and years and never get a Rubik's Cube fixed. And here comes this little girl saying, I could fix it, I could do this. And everybody's eyes are on her because the difficulty in doing this is known. So people are watching and looking. Can this little girl do it? And I shout out, come on, give her a hand. It's as if I made a stage show of it. Have some fun. Come on. Come on, let's encourage her. And she was laughing, the little girl. She was excited. Now what happened? I disrupted an area around me with individuals that were minding their own personal businesses, doing their own thing. And all of a sudden, it appeared as though I created a big stir because I had a difficulty. I'm going somewhere with this. Don't just think about the Rubik's Cube. Think about your personal situation. That's difficult. Think about it. Are you creating a stir? And the little girl twists and turns and twists and turns. And then she had to mess up everything that I did to get it fixed, which is what I was afraid of. I was afraid of messing up what I have fixed to get what I want done. And this little girl messed it up. And I was making a joke. I was saying, hey, she's messed it up. She's destroying it. Sometimes what you're doing looks so nice. But if you want to really get to the stage and you have a master come to put his touch on it, you're going to have to destroy some of the pieces and remove them out of the place that they are so other pieces could get in place first. And then you can put them back in place. If I was preaching a sermon, you missed a good place to say amen, but it's all right. I'm not preaching. So you have to get to a place where you understand that some places in your journey to success that you think are already fixed and look in order, you're going to recognize that they need to be messed up so that I'm trying to get these yellows fixed. Just trying to fix one color. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Getting the yellows fixed. So you need to mess up some things so that you could get the thing that you need fixed. So I'm messing up to get some things fixed. And then I did all the yellows. That's interesting. Nice. Should have chosen another color. But you have to mess up some things to fix some things. If you want to be successful, you're going to have to do it. And a lot of us have some things that are so fixed and they look so perfect and they look so in place that we don't want to move them out of place to get the other things in place. Because we think if I move this out of place, I'm not going to get it back in place, because to get it in place was already difficult. To get this part of my life fixed was already difficult. Now I have to mess up this part of my life to fix this other part of my life that is important. How do I do that? I need to step away from this part of my life and step into this other part and create a fix. And some of us cannot do that. So we're stuck in a cycle of incompleteness. We're not completed. Oh, the family is fine, but the finances are nothing. Oh, the finances are amazing, but the family is gone. We don't know how to fix pieces together. And that little girl, I watched her skillfully in less than 5 minutes. In less than 5 minutes, fixed the cube entirely. And everybody that was there was cheering. I mean, it was interesting to see. I wish that I had taken up my phone and recorded it, because it was a really interesting experience to see. Persons were celebrating her because she fixed the problem. Who are you stopping from being celebrated? You see, at that point, I was not the person being celebrated. The time when my problem or my difficulty was getting fixed, it wasn't about me. There was no glory for me. There was nothing in it for me. It was all about this little girl that had my problem in her hand and knew a solution to getting it fixed. It was this little girl. And after she finished it, she was so delighted. She was so buzzing. And I was so ecstatic. What was the lesson that the man got after this wonderful display? A number of young men were there watching that were close to me, some college students, and I said to them, that is a lesson of life. You will have something to get done and you can't do it. Don't ever be afraid to make noise and ask and push to get it done. Don't ever be ashamed of somebody saying they can't. They don't know. Don't ever be afraid of what people will think about you for making such a loud tumult to find in the midst of those needles in the haystack, the huge haystack. You're looking for a needle. One person that could fix a cube. That's what you're looking for. Don't be intimidated in trying to find that. Listen to me this evening. Nothing is impossible. Nothing. If I can't fix it, I promise you, I could find somebody that could fix it. Is diverting to find somebody who is capable of fixing your problem, ignoring your problem? Yes. Sometimes you have to ignore the problem and focus on finding a solution. Are you with me? Sometimes you have to ignore the problem or the difficulty and focus your energy, your time, your resources on finding or making or creating or building a solution. You have to shelve, as it were, the problem and knock on every door. Excuse me, sir. If it's something you could carry with you, put it in a bag and walk with it. Excuse me, sir. I've been searching for someone who has the ability to fix this puzzle. Can you fix it? No, I am not able to fix it. All right, sir. Well, it was lovely meeting you. I wish you a great day today. And you move on. Excuse me, ma'am. I've been looking for someone to fix this problem for me today. Are you the one? Some might say, what is the problem? You might find some that are going to ask you, how stuck are you? How far did you get? And you might find some that might not know how to fix it, but they have an idea. Why did you try to put that there and put this here? And did you try that? And you might dare to say, no, I didn't try that. That's a good thinking. And you might try it and it might put you in some more problems, but at least you made an effort. You tried something else. You kept the challenge on the forefront of your thinking. You didn't just walk away and forget that that's where you were focused on. You kept it at the forefront. I'm going to start to meddle. I like meddling sometimes. I like meddling sometimes. As a mentor, I do that very well. If a mentor does not pull you out of your comfort zone, he's not deserving of being called a mentor. Because if he just keeps you in your comfort zone and you're threading and you're standing up in the water, but you are flapping your hands as if you're swimming, you're not learning how to swim. But if he comes and he pushes you, and you say, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Dude, what are you doing? This water is over my head. He's trying to help you learn how to swim. You can't swim where you can stand easily. It's possible, but it's better to get out in the deep if you want to swim. You can't fix your problem just sitting down and looking through the window of your house and murmuring and complaining and whinging and whining, and every person that calls your phone, you're telling them about it. That doesn't fix the problem. Go outside, open the door and go outside. Carry the problem outside and see who you could engage to get the solution. But you have to make an alarm. You have to sound an alarm. You have to. You don't have a choice. Write the letter, make the phone call, visit the friend or the colleague, write the proposal, design the plan. You have to do something to raise awareness of your need for your solution. Man said I was brave. I asked him, what do you mean by I'm brave? He said, because you just open your mouth and you just shout it out and try to get a solution. I said, I'm not brave, sir. I just want to get the cube fixed. I'm going to say that again because I really want you to get it. Some things are not a matter of bravery or timidity. They are a matter of necessity. If you go into the jungle and you find yourself in a situation where a lion has decided to pick up a chase to capture you, and you start to run and you see a fence and you run and scramble over the fence and got over to safety. Somebody looks at you and says, oh my God, you're an Olympic runner. You're so fast and you are skilled too. You're not fast. You're not skilled. You needed to stay alive. And when you need to stay alive, you do whatever it takes. You exercise whatever energy is going to be necessary to execute the solution you're looking for. Is it something that you're going to do every day? Not really. Is it something that you have the ability to say, yeah, I can free fall and do this? Not really. But when necessity steps in, most individuals who are successful have learned to do what they had to do to survive. I said I was going to meddle a little bit. He said I was brave. A lot of individuals got one no. No, I'm not going to do it for you. Or no, I can't do it. And they become afraid to ask again. Because they got one no. They become afraid. A lot of people had one broken relationship and they timidly tried again. Two broken relationships and they timidly tried again. But a whole lot more caution. Lasted a little bit and they waited, and sure as day will fall at night, it came up to a place where it went pear-shaped again. Next problem, and they gave up. And then the next time that they have to get into those treacherous relationship waters, they just want to go where they can stand. They don't want to step out where their feet no longer touch and their necks seem to be sinking. Not doing that again. Not going to be vulnerable anymore. The last time I tried to be vulnerable, this is what happened, and that is what happened. And they have all the excuses. Guess what? They will be just like that young man that was on the bench prior to my passing, having a problem and sitting down, doing what? Talking about it. And misery has and likes company. Misery. I hear that statement a lot. Misery loves company. If you got something you can't do, I can't get this done at all. So difficult. You hear somebody else got to tell you, oh boy, it's so true. I saw this buddy doing that and trying to do this. That is almost impossible, mate. I'm telling you, bro. Quit that. Trust me. Don't keep doing that. That is impossible. It's easy to find persons that will agree with you that it's impossible. It's easy. There are thousands of them. But one little girl that was brave enough and confident enough to say, I can fix it. I can do it. And as old as I am, and intelligent as I am, and competent as I am in so many different areas, this little Rubik's Cube that makes me look like a total idiot. Idiot to fixing Rubik's Cubes. I'm ignorant. This little girl makes it seem like piece of cake. Your impossible task has somebody that will make it look like cheesecake. You got to find them. You have to find them. You have to make enough noise to get their attention. You have to. Because your life, your future, your existence depends on solving problems. I love challenges. I love difficult puzzles. I guarantee you that in the next couple of weeks, maybe, I'm going to get this figured out. Just for my spare time. Just because I like to challenge my brain. I like to challenge my skill set. Do you like challenging yourself? I'm actually going to find myself in a place where those doors that were difficult to open, I'm going to knock on them, shake them, rattle them, tear them off the hinges if necessary, because I have to get my solution. What about you? This evening's session was about difficulty or impossible. What do you need to make it? You need boot camp. You need boot camp. Because if it is doing something that you've not been doing before, or you're not accustomed to, you need boot camp. You need to put yourself in a position where you're going to try what you have not tried before. You see, because if you do what you did and got the results you're getting, my friend, if you continue to do what you're doing the same way you're doing it all the time, you're going to continue to get the same results. I always hear there's a statement, it is only a madman who thinks he can do the same thing the same way and get different results. It's a madman. You need to do things differently sometimes. That takes boot camp and getting used to. I want to challenge you. Get into boot camp. Find a mentor. Somebody who's not going to tolerate your excuses. You know what I mean? How many of you could do with somebody that's not going to tolerate your excuse? You see, that's not a pleasant person to have around, because those persons show you up. That little girl, if she had said to me, come on, let me show you how to do it. Put this here, put that there, put this out there, put that across there, twist this here, roll this over, upset this one, put that back there. And if I had listened and followed her instructions clear enough, I would have solved the puzzle. What is my role as a mentor? A lot of individuals have challenges, and the beautiful thing I like about being a mentor is we're able to look from the outside and see what's going on the inside and give you instructions or directions that will help you to get to the next level. And it's easy for us. Why is it easy for us? I don't tell persons to do anything I haven't done. I wouldn't take somebody through something I've not been through. Why? Because in order for us to understand some things, sometimes we have to pass through them. In order for us to appreciate this is really difficult, we have to be at the place where we were trying to fix it and recognize it's really difficult. Anybody that looked at me and said, oh, Dr. Steele, I'm telling you, bro, I know what you're trying to do. That Rubik's Cube thing is difficult. That is a hard one to fix. Somebody that came to me and told me that, I could agree with them. Why? Because I've experienced it, because I've tried to fix it, because I know what that is like. In closing this evening, take the push. Take the push. And step out into that unknown region and territory. When I raised my voice among the sea of people that were there, I did not know what the results would be. I didn't know what was going to happen. All I knew is I was trying to get everybody's attention to find the one person that I needed. Ladies and gentlemen, I found that person who was able to do it successfully. And I walked away a satisfied man. But not just that, I walked away and had the opportunity to speak to a number of individuals openly about life's challenges and finding solutions. Thank you so much for listening to this evening's session. That was 1 hour of discussion. The time is now 8 o'clock. It says 1 minute to 8, but I say 8 o'clock here in the United Kingdom. And I want to ask Engineer Stephen Abu, tell me what you gained from this evening's discussion.
Thank you, my mentor, Dr. Michael Steele, for this opportunity availed to me tonight. In summary, nothing is impossible. They're only difficult. And if they are seeming impossible to me, then I should with it. Hello.
Yes, I'm hearing you now. Go ahead, Engineer Stephen, I'm hearing
You
you.
work it out, and just like the stories. Okay, just
We're not hearing you, Engineer Stephen. Unplug your cable if necessary, because we're not
and
hearing you.
okay. The family. Are you getting me now, sir?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay. As individual, as as a family, we have issues within the family that we feel is impossible. Maybe perhaps a sickness that is hovering around, that is staying around, and it looks impossible to be treated and all that. I think the best thing is to cry for help so that somebody who has more information about such illnesses or disease will come to our aid, just as the little girl was able to solve the issue you had, the difficulty, the impossible thing you had.
Yes.
So in life, there are a lot of things. We have a lot of issues in our society. We have currently as a family, we have other issues that are pending within us for us to get done, to be done. And with this class tonight, it has also, gingered me to know that to everything that looks impossible, there's always, difficult or impossible, there's always a way of solving it. I should look around my environment, cry out to others that are far, that are near, open up, shout, make it available, be brave about it,
Yes.
and then and allow these issues to be heard, and there'll definitely be solutions to it. So thank you, Your Excellency, for this good time. It's been wonderful. I don't know where you took this from, another one from difficult or impossible, difficult versus impossible, but it's a good caption and also a good lesson for tonight. I'm grateful, sir. I remain Stephen Abu from Lagos.
Thank you so very much, Stephen. And that's important. It sums it up. This even is a simple lecture, but profound. It gives us a lot of food for thought. When I looked at the simplicity of the reality of fixing the problem, I recognized, but that principle is the same thing for everything in life. It's easy. Be prepared to be making aware of the problem. It says, you have not because you ask not. Your Excellency Zionist Amaka Curry here in the United Kingdom, what is your take on this evening's discussion, this evening's lecture?
Good evening, Your Excellency, Bishop Dr. Michael Steele.
Good evening.
And greeting in absentia to First Lady, Ambassador Steele, and good evening, Reverend Engineer Abu. Good evening, Reverend Daniel Elendo Sopo. This evening lecture topic is needed. It's good. We get reminded and remind ourselves that impossibility and difficulties are actually there. They're just like a lady's makeup bag. Are they there to ensure that we apply life skills adequately towards mark of excellency. Difficulties and impossibilities are they're not really our enemies. They're the tool that helps us to get to where we need to go to. Difficulties and impossibilities, to me, are the hurdles you need to leap over, jump over, crawl over before you get to the goals. There is no way you can get to the goals without getting through them first. And once you get to the goals by getting through them, you feel a sense of worth and a sense of achievement. Hence, some people, it is said that when you hand it down to some people, they don't value it. And it's true, they don't value it. But when they work hard for it, they look back and they appreciate it. So difficulties and impossibilities, they are not really our enemy. They are there to help us, to enhance us, to encourage us, to egg us on. Having said that, I'll go back to the introduction, and from what Your Excellency Bishop Dr. Michael Steele has impacted upon us. It is true, we are faced with difficulties and challenges every day. You've given us an example, the Rubik's Cube, and how you were able to get it resolved by shouting out, asking for help. You ignore every vulnerability in you. You put aside any sense of pride or ego. You know you have a problem and you have to ask for help. We live in a world where every solution has got a person assigned to it. We just have to find the person. Mm-hmm. The one thing I did take down that reminds me of this lecture is what you said. You said when we shout out, instead of shelving our vision or assignment, we draw attention on ourselves. And then what was difficult gets solved, and what was impossible receive a solution. So life is as difficult as we want to make it, or as impossible as we want to embrace it. We need to embrace the fact that there is help out there. That's what I hear you say. There's somebody out there that is capable of finding a solution to any problem. That's right. I once had a shop, first I would say a Nigerian shop in Leeds, and I took the ownership of the business premise with African mindset, and I did not factor into establishing the business all the intricacies involved with sole trading. So I got stuck. On one occasion, I got stuck. I thought I had enough finance. I just went into it because I had the finance, but I got stuck. I couldn't hold it anymore. I was so filled with self-pride that I was not willing to ask for help. I was looking for tradesmen to help me, but each time I call on them, the charges they were giving to me was so exorbitant. And the truth is that when you have the money, you have many friends, but when you don't have the money, you have few friends. But that, if I knew then, that should not have stopped me. The fact that I felt that I could not lean towards my fair weather friends should never have discouraged me if I knew then that there is the way out of our difficulties and impossibilities. In most cases, is not through whom we know. It's most likely comes through the people we do not know. The good Samaritan out there, the Alan Sugar out there, who is willing to take up your problem for a slice of the success of the problem. So then what I should have done, instead of being stranded between not having the finance to progress my project and not seeing any other human resource help out there aside from my friend, is to, like you said, shout out. Tell the passerby on the highways and byways of life, let them know I am stuck. Help me. But see, sometimes pride gets in the way. And if we can avoid, there is no way we can get through the hurdles that takes us towards the mark of excellence when we put on a backpack full of pride. That backpack full of pride is so heavy that we can't even lift off our feet from the ground to jump the hurdles of difficulties or impossibilities. And so profoundly, from what you have said this evening, what I got myself is, do not shelve your vision or assignment. One, come what may, even if your vision or assignment is rubbish, there is a man or woman out there that will turn it into a tangible product. If not, the garbage that we waste, that we throw out from our houses, the local authorities will not be interested in them. The international traders will not be interested in them. We call them rubbish, but there are guys out there who are making a fortune. And so our visions and our assignment might be mediocre to us, might look impossible, but the truth is, especially in this technological age, there are people out there that want your vision, want your assignment. And if you make mistake of handing it over to them, they will be like the American guy that sat upon a land filled with gold, but because he was so myopic, he decided to sell his plot of land for nothing. And when I think it's the oil company, when they bought the land, or a church, some group bought the land, they discovered that underneath the ground, the man has been sitting upon gold all his life. He never knew it. And yet he sold his land for a pittance. And so there is a song that says, no mountain higher enough, no impossibilities in life. We have a case of a lady in the Bible who persistently disturbed a king until she received what she was asking for. So persistency is very, very crucial towards us overcoming difficulties and impossibilities in our pursuit of goals or assignment. And focus. Being able to focus is also crucial. Know what it is you want. And also not discarding, because when we get frustrated, some people just rip up the dreams and the assignment because of frustration. You can keep it where you can see it all the time and keep knocking on doors. And as soon as somebody says yes, then you run back to where you've kept the vision and assignment and take it straight away to them. So don't let your vision or assignment, don't exterminate it. Don't let it die. Somebody is going to fan the fire that will set it ablaze again. And solution, whereby we face impossibilities or difficulties, because it is real. impossibilities or difficulties, they are real. I think they're synonym to each other. They're almost similar. They are real to a lot of people, and many people will be listening today and they would have had arrays of problems and they're thinking it's okay for them. They know how to solve their problem, but I don't know how to solve mine. But what I'm saying tonight is go onto Facebook, go onto any group. Don't be ashamed. Type out, this is, I have a farm, I have a garden, I don't know how to plant. I have rice in the house, I don't know how to cook it. There are community, thank goodness, thank God Almighty, because we have now this social platform that allows people to form a bond of community. So there is no need for anybody to be isolated with whatever level of problem they have. So long as we do not allow pride to be in the way, then we are likely to get somebody to respond to us.
To fix it.
So in terms of solution, Your Excellency, you mentioned going to boot camp, taking the push. And I also added to that, change the process. We know Her Excellency, Dr. Anita Davis. She's good at telling us that when what you're doing is not going right, rethink what you're doing and change the process. And so impossibilities, whatever it is for anybody right now, whether it is health problem, whether it is finances, whether it is job, whether it's relationship, there is nothing that is not doable. That challenge has come to us in order for us to find a solution for it. And in so doing it, we will discover a new landscape. We will discover a new opportunity. But if impossibility or difficulties never come our way, we're going to be static, we're going to be stale. We're not going to be attractive. We're not going to be needed. We will not see the world for the beauty that it is. To travel, Your Excellency, to travel to any country, it's hard. And sometimes it can be impossible. Today, the demand for this, the airport is crammed up. Some people it's taking a friend I know about 7 hours or 8 hours to come from Italy to here because of the airport difficulties, the traveling difficulties. Now, they could have as well said, okay, we're not going to England, we'll look for somewhere else to go. But because of persistency, they still made it to crossover. And so let's embrace difficulties or the impossible situations in life by reaching out, by sharing. A problem shared is a problem halved. Thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Zioness Amaka Georgina Curry.
Thank you so very much for your insight and your notes and detailed explanation of your interpretation of what we shared this evening. An interesting thought while you were sharing that I wanted to also bring out and add value to what you shared is there are two types of glory in a scenario of your problem or getting a solution. There's the glory of fixing it. There's a glory when I fix my problem, there's a glory to me. There's a everybody, woo, look at Michael. There's a pat on the shoulder when I fix it. But then there's also another level of glory that most people I seem to think they shy away from. The glory of getting it fixed. There's the glory of fixing it, which is personal glory, personal satisfaction, personal personal. But then there is that one that somebody else, quote unquote, as it might appear, gets the glory. But the truth of the matter is that the ultimate glory is that the situation was resolved. The difficulty was fixed. The problem was solved. And whichever way, whoever fixed it or whoever did whatever was necessary to bring about the resolution or the solution, the fact remains is that mission accomplished. And that is one of the things that a lot of individuals are challenged with. When you own a company, you don't need to know everything about the company yourself. You just need to have a team of individuals who know what you're doing, how to solve the problems, how to fix and get the solutions. That is also success for you, but it depends on what you determine as success. Reverend Daniel Sapuru out of Nigeria. Good evening, Reverend Daniel. How has this evening been for you and this subject that you were a part of? You're very welcome to the discussion.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Dr. Michael Steele. I greet you. And may I have also the honor to greet our sister Zionist, our Excellency Zionist, and Engineer Abu from Lagos, Nigeria. We thank God for all of you, and good evening. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity you have given me, even to say one or two things. Even though I joined late because of traffic and heavy rainfall here. So, but I didn't want to miss this class at all. The topic is very, very interesting, difficult or impossible. And well, I want to start with what you said, that nothing is impossible. Everything has a solution. And I think I agree with that. But sometimes when we see problems, we look at them as being so big that we see them as not having solutions. So, but we thank God that tonight we know that there is no problem that doesn't have a solution. And you also mentioned that we should do everything to try to look for these solutions. And even if it means going out there to shout, so that people will come to our help, that is very nice. But sometimes, well, this has equally been mentioned, pride might not allow us sometimes to do this. But we know that when we do this, we must get someone who will proffer some solutions. And when we follow those things, we might get the solutions to our problems. And we must always do everything to challenge ourselves. We should like challenges, and it is only when we like challenges that we will try to look for solutions, to those challenges. So just as I said, I joined late, but I got one or two things which I am sharing, and we must do everything to make sure that when we see a problem, we shouldn't see those problems as insurmountable. We should do everything to look for the solutions, even if it means calling people into it. That would be wonderful, and that will help us. So I don't know. I know that when we have problems, especially if it is financial, and we don't have enough money in the pocket, when we go out there to shout, or when we ask for people to give us some solutions, you know that in this part of the world, people might see you as a beggar. So, and because of that, many people might not go out there to shout and say, please, can you help me financially because of this problem I have? I know somebody has been advising us to have a plantation on a land, we have somewhere in the eastern part of this country. So, and we actually need some financials to do that. But there is just sometimes no way we can go out there and shout and tell people. But sometimes when we do that, solutions might come. But you see, pride might not allow us to do that. So what I am trying to say is that when we sit down to analyze problems, and when we sit down to analyze situations, we will actually find out that there is nothing that is impossible. And when we see that these things are difficult, but possible, obviously we will go for it. So I want to say thank you for teaching us again this evening, and thank you for the points you raised. I actually regret being late to the class. Thank you very much. And my name is Reverend Dr. Daniel Elendo Soporo, and I am from right now in Owerri, Imo State of Nigeria. Thank you.
Your Excellency, thank you so very much for your submission and your contributions. Always a pleasure, and the truth remains, we are in an environment where it is helpful to identify the necessity of opposition, objection, disappointment. It's necessary. It really and truly is necessary to embrace those difficulties and become acquainted with them. In closing this evening, I want to thank you guys for being here. I'm not going to go into any more discussions as for this evening. I think I want to leave us reflecting on recognizing that what seems impossible isn't. And for me, as your mentor, I don't see impossible. I really don't. Maybe if I did, sometimes I'd be a whole lot more cautious in some decisions I make. But I assure you that the results and the benefits of seeing the cup as half full, seeing the problem as half fixed, and able to be completed once the solution is found. Seeing the project as it's a work in progress, rather than I've come to the end of this vision. Seeing it as I'm at a crossroad, rather than seeing it as I'm at a dead end. Seeing it as I don't like how this feels, but I don't have a choice but to go through this process. I'm not a doom and gloom mentor. I'm just one that keeps it real. And there are some things that if you want to get to the next level successfully, you just have to embrace. You don't have a choice. It's unfortunate. I think a lot of us would be better served if we had persons that just straight up tell it to us. Straight up. Jeannie is interesting, my companion, very interesting. My companion is one of the persons who says it as it is. My son, I correct him for doing things, and then he gives me an explanation and makes me feel silly for correcting him. How many of you have ever experienced that with kids? You have a kid and you see what the kid did. You clearly observe what the kid did.
and you correct the kid for it. And then you ask, why did you do that? And he actually told you, or she actually told you, and you think, oh, it wasn't even a bad reason. My son unscrew all of the screws on the doors. Everywhere he finds a screw, he unscrews it. And I asked him, why did he do that when he was much younger? Today, every toy that he has that needs batteries, he finds where to put the batteries. Every toy that he has that needs something doing, he does it himself. Those motor skills are designed and developed. Unfortunately, they were practiced on the doors and knobs, but they're developed. And he's confident. A lot of you have kids that write on the doors and write everywhere. Where am I going with this based on difficulties versus impossible? Where am I going with this? Some of the things that you find as annoyances, if you really and truly look at the fact that destroying this sometimes to fix this might be necessary. You just have to know how to fix it back. You just have to know how to put it back in place afterwards. That's a skill that we learn with time. How do you fix something that was already fixed, but you had to mess it up to get something else fixed? You and the partner are communicating very well, but you have a conversation of contention. You bite your lip. We're getting along too well. I don't want to discuss that contentious subject. As a result, that contentious subject stays there and festers and destroys your relationship. And you thought that because it was so good and you didn't want to mess it up with discussing that particular issue, you thought you were doing something better, when in actual fact, you were doing something worse. Get accustomed to messing up things to make things right sometimes. Get accustomed to rocking the boat to get it to the other side. Get accustomed to having somebody telling you straight up, bro, sis, this is how it is. I don't hate you, I love you, but the truth is right now, the way you're behaving or reacting is not practical. You're a little bit of an embarrassment or shame or disappointment. It's okay. Get accustomed to individuals telling you the truth. If you want to be better as a person, if you want to differentiate between difficult and impossible, if you want to step aside from who gets the glory to who completes the story, start accepting truth and some hardball realities that you need to address so you can get to the other side. I'm His Excellency Dr. Michael Steele. You've been listening to another lecture in the class of Steele. We meet on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And on Saturdays with the youth, we also meet and discuss and help individuals on how to get to the next level. I've decided that this is a part of my corporate social responsibility, and these videos are going to be available on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn for others to see, because there are a whole lot of other things that we're doing, and we want to make sure that you get value from what is this class of Steele about. We're not going to give you little 1-minute clips and 1-minute sections for you to read between the lines. You don't need to. Get to know us better. Look at some of our videos and listen. And if you think that you would like us to be mentoring you in your situation, your clients, or those who work with you, give us a call. Send us an email. And we will see how we can add value to what you need. I want to say a special thanks to the Zoom team We've been progressing greatly with Zoom, and they've been serving us very well. Thanks to the Zoom team that have made this platform available. And thanks to all of you who are signed up as subscribers and those of you who are on our Facebook and our LinkedIn groups. Thank you for being with us. It's a work in progress. I'm not bothered about 100,000 and 1,000,000 views yet. That will come in time. But I'm grateful for the few of you who make use of what we share. And I look forward to the better years to come. And I hope that you as well, don't come and watch the class of Steele grow and become successful. Only come and be a success yourself with what you want to accomplish for your life, your family, your business, your teams. And let's build a legacy together. Good evening and God bless. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Good evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye,
Good night,
guys. Have a
everyone.
good evening.